everything looks like fancy, in this coffee industry. And you compare yourself to those, like all those like great baristas, or you want to in the cafe or stuff like that. But in that case, like, you just forget, like, why do I jump into this coffee journey? And then you get lost, So I think it's very easy to let it happen in Dubai, especially.
We have some exciting new changes coming to Mapper Forward in 2026 to support the rapid growth we're experiencing around the world. After seeing the impact this podcast has had on businesses and professionals in the coffee industry who have access to it in English, we've decided that we'll be working hard to make it available in other languages that encompass our amazing and diverse industry. To fund that growth, for the very first time in a very long time, we'll be inviting advertisers onto the Global Podcast and the Mapper Forward Middle East podcast. So if you're a small to medium-sized company and looking for B2B advertising opportunities and you believe that our values are aligned, please send us an email at support@mapperforward.org or DM us on social media and we can start a conversation today. Check the show notes for links. Welcome to the Mapper Forward Middle East podcast, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 2 of a really fun series with Purity On and Ron. That should be a song from Raw Coffee. From Raw Coffee in Dubai, in the UAE. We are talking about how a coffee career in the Middle East changed these folks' lives. And in this episode, we're going to talk about what it's like being a coffee professional in the Middle East. So if I understand it correctly from our last episode, guys, none of you did coffee before you did it here in the Middle East.
Yes.
Really, really interesting. So tell me what it's like. What's the environment like? Because here's the interesting thing. Other than Purity, I think both On and Ron, I'm not going to do that again, but both On and Ron, you guys have only worked at Raw. Purity, you've worked other places too, right?
Just one more.
Just one other place. Yeah. You went there and came back, right? We won't mention who it is. It's not necessary. But I feel like it's great to go and try something else, to know that this is the right place that you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me what it's like being a coffee professional in the Middle East. Is it what you expected, guys?
You start?
Yeah, Ron, you start.
So from outside, I think right now, currently, the coffee it looks very fancy. Really, the gadgets, how it looks. Yeah. So it's automatically you are attracted with it. So right now, the really exciting things, I think it's the innovations in coffee tools. You can see every day you'll see different machines launching with different qualities in it. How to make good coffee. Lots of competitions. It looks really good from outside if you see coffee culture right now. So yeah, working here in as a coffee professional in UAE, I think how fast we are growing right now is really exciting. Every day you will learn something new. You are up to the trends actually. Like what's happening, it happens here at first. You see, you can try every coffee from the world. Different coffees, you'll meet lots of different peoples. The connection you'll have with the different peoples. That's the most exciting part of coffee community there in UAE. Yeah.
Right. And when you say it happens here first, do you mean for this region, or do you think it's happening like that across the world? So it happens in Dubai before it happens everywhere else in the world?
It's not like you'll get to know like at the beginning phase, Like whatever new comes anywhere in the world, you'll get to try that here also. Yeah. So,
Right.
yeah, it's very quick. It's very
Right.
quick. Yeah.
So maybe like in Nepal, it takes some time
Oh, yeah.
for it to get to Nepal.
Yeah.
But if it's happening in Australia or it's happening in Japan,
Yeah.
it's going to happen very quickly soon after that in Dubai.
Oh, yeah. Sure. So,
Right.
and then you have a culture like different. We have in Middle East, we have gawa, right? That culture is there. We have culture of having Turkish here, Turkish coffee. We have a culture
Right.
here, so we have everything. Spanish latte. So we have flat white. So the culture we have is very diverse.
Right.
So it's like meeting the whole world at the same place.
Right.
Uh,
And we're going to talk about that in the next episode. We're going to talk about how multicultural it is, because this is, like you say, Ron, it's a melting pot.
oh yeah.
For which is very exciting, but we'll talk about that at length in the next episode. What about you, On? Because your job is capturing experiences. Your job is to show people what's going on at Raw. And for me, as somebody who came from the Australian coffee industry and the American coffee industry, Raw is the most similar to those coffee cultures than Raw and Kurasu. Even though Kurasu is Japanese.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Right?
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Kurasu, go to Kurasu.
All right.
The two, Kurasu and Raw, are the two places that I go to drink coffee in Dubai. Why? Because the coffee is excellent and the experience is excellent. And they're experiences that I can count on, right? So you're somebody, On, who is responsible for capturing that and communicating that storytelling to an audience. So as the person who's responsible for that, how do you tell that story of what it's like to be in the coffee industry to everyone, basically, whether it's the consumer or whether it's other people in the industry? Because I suspect, if I'm right, your storytelling is also about attracting talent into Raw. Is that correct?
Yeah. We're showcasing people's talent from every department. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only barista, but also different like logistic, roastery, and even like housekeeping, or all those like people. Yeah. That's my to tell their story, to inspire. Yeah.
And what's it like for you as a coffee professional here? Like, because you do the coffee, but you do the storytelling.
Yeah.
What's that experience like for you?
Yeah. So it's kind of wild, thing. Yeah. Because now that I'm like working as this visual storyteller full time, but last year I was working as a hybrid.
Okay.
Which is like I work as a barista for 3 days and 2 days in the office working as a,
on content.
Yes. But try to keep it balanced because both of them are my, let's say, passion, even though it's kind of like exhausting or wherever, but I love them, It's like I love what I'm doing. So, yeah. And talking about the coffee scene from this marketing perspective, I would say, for me and as Raw, I just want to say that we don't want to chase the trends. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. So, like before I took this job as a full time, I told Kim that, when you jump on the Instagram, you can see like nice reels showcasing the drinks and full editings and the sounds and all the stuff, which is like short attention span. Maybe go like trending, right? But it won't last. It won't last. That's what I believe. Maybe it might last like only 3 days, Yeah. Yeah. So that's the core thing that I told Kim, that like I want to do something timeless. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I love that, because I feel like we're in an era where chasing the trend,
Yeah.
people are chasing the trend so that they can get famous and they can get popular and they can get people's attention.
Yeah.
There are a few businesses, like the two that I mentioned before, Raw and Kurasu, that are building for the long game. And so they're not chasing trends. And they are demonstrating that they can be there for the long term.
Yeah.
And I just find it fascinating that you guys have had such long careers so far and stayed with the same company. Which brings me to you, Purity, because for a minute you weren't at Raw, you went and explored other options, which I think is healthy, right? I think that that's very healthy for a lot of reasons. And when I think about what it must be like for you as a coffee professional, having come from Kenya, what is it like when you look at your professional life? What is it? How do you see your professional life in the coffee industry as somebody who wasn't intending on doing it?
Ask me that again.
So you are forging a career in coffee, right? This is not just a job.
Mm-hmm.
This is something where you are a professional at something that you didn't intend on being a professional in a country that you didn't think you would stay this long in.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're building a life and a family and a career and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
What, like, compared to where you thought you would be, compared to how you thought that would end up for you,
Mm-hmm.
as a coffee professional here in the UAE,
Mm-hmm.
how do you see your career? How do you see where it's going to go? How do you see what it's like right now and what the opportunities are as you move into your new role?
Okay. So initially, because I didn't want to stay in Dubai for longer, because the goal was get capital, and back home you have a lot of flexibility with time, and you're not restricted to 9 to 5. You can have a 9 to 5 and run a business at the same time, which is a little bit hard on this part of the world, because if you're to run a business and be employed at the same time, it can be a challenge. Yeah. But the most rewarding part about being a coffee professional, I feel, is the fact that if you take time to build a skill, if you take time to keep evolving and learning, then you can actually get what you wanted to get by moving back. So moving into this new role, I would say, if I keep upskilling, if I keep learning new stuff, then I actually can do what I dreamt of doing, but still staying in this part of the world and still staying in this career path.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is the coffee industry what you guys thought it would be?
I think it can be very subjective. I don't think it is one fits all, because as an industry, we all are employed with very different individuals. So for some people, I feel like they might not have what we are lucky enough to have, like a place where you learn, a place where you earn. Some people are not paid well. Some people are working longer hours. So it is not a one size fits all. For us, we can talk about the positive side of being a coffee professional, but I feel like maybe it's not everyone's story.
What about you guys? On and Ron, you guys could, like, you need a t-shirt, just saying. You should say he's on and he's Ron.
So now that I can share some experience as a barista. Yeah. So working here is barista is it's quite a hassle as well, you know. Yeah, you're put into a place where you meet people who are so ambitious and passionate about it. Of course, you get to learn from them, and you get exposed to great coffees, great cafes, or whatever. But together with that, I think it comes pressure, you know, and you can easily get caught into that hassle that even you forgot why you started this career.
Can you say more about that? That's very interesting to me. What do you mean by that?
Like Ron mentioned before, everything looks like fancy, you know, in this coffee industry. And you compare yourself to those, you know, like all those like great baristas, or I mean, you want to in the cafe or stuff like that. But in that case, like you just forgot, like, why do I jump into this coffee journey? And then you get lost, you know? So I think it's very easy to let it happen in Dubai, especially. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. So
it's not as it seems, right? Like, people need to understand.
Yes.
You know, I hear from a lot of baristas in like Pakistan.
Yeah.
I have a client in Pakistan, and we talk a little bit about how baristas in Pakistan look at baristas in Dubai.
Yeah.
And they all want to leave their life. They want to come to Dubai. They want to live the life in Dubai, and then they want to go home, and then they want to claim these really high salaries and things like that. And they see themselves different after they've been a coffee professional in Dubai. And they go back to the country that they've come from, and they see themselves as different. But then when you talk with those baristas about the reality of what it is for a barista to start a career in Dubai, you come to realize this is not an easy life. This is the bling bling that people see is not the bling bling that's there as a reality, right? And this causes a lot of tension in our industry. And there's a lot of, it creates this weird kind of tension, I think, in our industry. Do you guys agree? Is that what you guys see here locally?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Any thoughts on it? Ron, I can go ahead on.
Yeah. I was thinking.
I think it's,
I could see your eyes thinking.
say like how can I say? It's not only coffee industry; it's everywhere, you know, in other industries as well. Yeah. So, but the most important thing is like just stay true to yourself. But it's very hard here to keep yourself grounded and to stay on your compass rather than chase other pace, you know? Yeah.
Right.
And I think it can relate to all the industry here in Dubai. Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of traps here, you know, like a lot of people are opening businesses in the coffee industry, and finding the right kind of person to work for is
It's a shot.
It's a challenge. Say again?
It's a shot in the dark.
Yeah, because businesses don't last as long here as they do in most other countries outside of the Middle East, I guess, which is why a company like Raw is so exceptional in the fact that they've been around for 18 years and still not only thriving but growing. So, all right, guys, in the next episode, we're going to talk about the multiculturalism of the coffee industry here. And so join us for that. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.